Welcome to Queen Deluxe. Let's do some vintage sewing. This week on Queen Deluxe, we're going to be working on a stash swap challenge. Some of the people from the YouTubes, from the Costube community, have gotten together and we are swapping stashes. And so it's a challenge of I take something out of my stash, I send it to a friend, they send it to someone else, okay? So I sent my stuff to Lost in Time Attire, and I will link her below. I forgot to take a video of me packing the box to show you what I sent her. It was in the middle of COVID madness, and I forgot. I just put it in a box and got it in the mail because we were under deadline, and I don't know what I was thinking. Anyways, so if you want to see what I sent her, go watch that video. And Gwen from Gwen's Shenanigans from the Netherlands sent me stuff, and so we were challenged to just, we got the stuff in the mail and then you have to make something out of it. So I will show you what I got and what I'm gonna do with it. Okay. So I got some lovely cards and some pink striped linen. Isn't it pretty? And then she sent this lovely lace and these pink buttons. And what is in here? So we finally got the bag open, and it has some candy from the Netherlands. Ooh, it looks like a honeycomb maybe? Mmm. So I have decided that I'm going to make this 1930s pattern I had in my stock. It is a dress and a vest. So the stripe is going to be the vest, and then I'm going to put little bits of stripe detail throughout the white dress. The pattern has us start off with a pleat at the shoulder line. This white rayon I had in my stash to add to the stash challenge. The pink was not quite enough of a piece to really do like a whole dress, so that's part of the reason I chose this pattern. I have decided to run the lace down the center front of the skirt and the top. So I did kind of a tricky detail with the lace at the vent openings, just kind of like a split at the center front, and then I'm putting it straight down either side of that vent down the center fronts. So here I am appliquing the other side. Off screen I put the shoulders and side seams together, and so now it's on to the collar. I decided to put the lace around the outer edge of the collar. I put a 1/2 inch seam allowance as a guide on the outer edge, and then line up the lace on that edge just inside my stitch line. Now I take that stitched piece to the iron and ease in the other side, and now I'm applicating that side on after it's been all pinned down. And I continue to ease it in so that it'll have that curved shape of the collar. And I press again. Then I bag it out with another piece of rayon, and I'm just stay stitching it around the neck. The pattern instructions want us to add some bias tape to finish off the raw edges at the collar and neckline. So I decided to cut a piece of my striped linen to be kind of like a peekaboo on the inside. So when you just have the collar open, you might get a peek of that stripe. I think it'll be cute. I have graded the neckline down and pressed my bias tape under and have it all pinned and ready to hand stitch. So I'm going to basically just do a little bit of a slip stitch all the way around that neckline to catch the bias tape down. Next, the instructions want us to set in the sleeves, so I go ahead and do that. It's a nice gathered cap, so it goes in really smoothly. so far. Collar and sleeve, center front. Moving on to the skirt, center front, I have an inverted box pleat. I am going to put the stripe inside the box pleat so that when you walk, you get a little peek of the stripe. And then I'm going to put that lace down the center front, kind of on the edge, and here's my little stripey peak. So I'm going to sew that lace on the fold so that it'll keep a crisp fold there. That slimy rayon is not going to hold a crisp line in the front without a little bit of help. Now to top stitch the pleat center front. Then I will catch the other side of the lace, appliquing it on through just the one layer of rayon. A couple darts in the side backs, and then we can put the skirt all the way together. Some gathering stitches just in the side front areas under the bust and in the back in the same area, and then we'll join the top and the skirt together and make a dress. To the vest. So the very first things that we need to do are some bound buttonholes. At first I was wavering as whether I should do bound buttonholes or not, just throw some machine buttonholes in, but then I thought, oh, the stripe, I could put the stripe on the bias and it would look so cute against the straight grain of the garment, so I decided to do it. See? Oh, so cute. There is a good tutorial in another one of my videos on how to do these. I'll try to remember to put a card up here for that. And then the buttonholes on the vest are on the straight of grain, but since this vest is cut on the bias, we get a really interesting slant to the buttonholes. So the buttonholes are at a 45-degree angle. And there are, I think, 5. Sewing up the center back of the vest. It is also on the bias, and I have matched up those stripes, otherwise it would drive me crazy. So I'll show you that in a sec. Here we go, all matched up, so pretty. The vest has 2 little I guess I would like half darts, I guess I would call them, or sewn pleats. This is where I deviate from the instructions. They do not have you put a lining in, but I thought it would just be easier and nicer looking if I threw a lining in. So I sewed one down to the self-facing and sewed all the shoulders, and so it's like four shoulders together. So it's the lining shoulders and the outside shoulders, and then I'm bagging out the neckline right here. It's a little confusing. I don't know if this is going to be helpful for you or not, but I hope so. It is a very clean finish. You don't have to mess around with any bias tape or anything around the neckline and the sleeves. So here we are. I have the neckline finished and the armholes are finished, and the side seams have been left unsewn, so that you can flip it and turn it, because you can't turn a donut, if you've ever heard that term. Anyways, so I'm going to sew kind of like a U shape up from the stripe side, fashion fabric side of my vest all the way through to the lining side. So it's gonna catch both side seams all at once. So I'm just lining up the armpit. So I go ahead and sew that side seam up, press open, and now I am catching the very center front hem of the vest. It kind of angles up at the front hem, and so I'm just gonna catch it's basically just the facing section, and then the rest of the hem will be left open, and I will hand sew that hem up. Here we are, all done. I just want to thank Gwen's Shenanigans for the lovely fabric and buttons and lace. It turned out so sweet, and I am definitely going to wear this on a regular basis. Thanks for sewing with me this week. I had fun, I hope you did too. Be sure to check out all the videos in the Stash Challenge, and follow me on Instagram at Queen Deluxe Sew. Hit the links and the buttons, and I'll see you next time. Bye.